Jedi Luke is coming back, Cubs fam. This is probably the biggest question I get on a regular basis. Where is Jedi Luke? Well, I finally have an answer for you guys. He's coming tonight, midnight Pacific Standard Time. In this video, we are going to review and rehash some of the finer details of the event, especially mods, so that you guys can be prepared to get your Jedi Lukes finally, for those of you who have been waiting. All right, let's go. Cubs fam, like I said, we're talking Jedi Luke today, but before we get into that, we have got some interesting information that has been dropped by CG today. First of all, Rex is going to be the login character for the month of April. I find that very, very eye-opening. I really thought that they were going to be focusing almost exclusively on Mandalorian content going forward. Looks like the answer is no. Maybe they are going straight into Bad Batch stuff now. I thought they'd wait until May 4th to do that. Or maybe the login character of Rex is just kind of a preemptive thing. I don't know. These login characters do tend to mean something. Not always, but they can. And so I almost feel like maybe they're done with Mandalorian characters, which I would feel two ways about that. I would be excited to get into Bad Batch content, and I love Clone Wars era content. But I'd be disappointed because I feel like we got two empty teams right now. We got a Bo-Katan team that's still missing something. We got a Moff Gideon team that's still missing something. And so it'd be really sad if we didn't see anything else, and those 6 marquee characters we see coming are just Bad Batch characters. So I'm hoping we still have more coming for Mandalorian content. And then this is just nice to see that they're addressing some game crash issues. I don't see them make a post like this very much. Maybe this is just kind of a Doja Fett thing. But validation here, guys. If you've been seeing your game crash, I guess they're working on it. So just some food for thought. Good to know. Now, we are going to get into the Jedi Luke portion of this video talking about the guide. I want you guys to check a link above my head right now. There is a full comprehensive guide that I did last time this event came around. That guide will be much more in-depth. If you're looking at more of a surface level guide, I'm your guy for this video. We're going to rehash some of the mods and general things. If you're still struggling, go check out the old guide because that's going to give you a lot more detail. This is going to be, again, kind of more surface level. So let's start with Tier 1. Tier 1, you're going to take the Wampa against CLS, and tenacity is pretty big here. You want to resist as much as possible from Luke with those debuffs. The debuffs are really what kill you here. Unless you've got enough offense, you got the relics, you got the speed that you can just out damage him. Now, I would recommend something that I always say with events like this is don't go too crazy remodding. I'm gonna flash a bunch of mod stats for you guys on the screen for all of the tiers, and those stats are really helpful for when you're struggling. I would always recommend just going with what you've got first, just to see if it works, and if you get wrecked, then visit this mod guide. This is going to show you the most likely scenario that you can beat these tiers. And so, of course, Tier 2, you're taking CLS against the Wampa. I've never found much of a struggle with this. CLS is just very equipped for this phase of the event. Just enjoy this. If you are struggling, here's some recommended stats, but I really don't think that you're going to have struggles with this, especially if you've got your CLS more towards like Relic 5, Relic 7, like a lot of people do. Probably going to be pretty easy. Tier 3. This is where some people will struggle just a little bit. You're taking C-3PO, Captain Han, Rolo, and Chewie in, and it's just about getting everyone out before Vader comes and wrecks you. And so, naturally, speed is going to be kind of a big one there. C-3PO, not super. I'm just going to say, just get some health, speed, and potency on him. There's not really any specific stats I think you have to hit for C-3PO. Captain Han, it's really nice to have him over 240 speed. You're going to want to have him at some pretty decent protection, 60k. You want these guys survivable. With Captain Han, it's mostly about survivability. Rolo, nice to have some offense on her. A little bit of speed, 280 is a little bit quick, 50k on the health. And then Chewie, tenacity. Very important there. And then these, again, recommended mod stats here. But for the most part, you're going to be able to muscle through this if you just have somewhat decent mods here. Attack strategy-wise, again, refer to the old video. I have a big in-depth breakdown of the attack strategy here if you're struggling. But for the most part, just get everyone out before Vader's there. If you're struggling, check out these mods, check out the attack strategy and the other videos. I personally don't hear of very many people struggling in this tier, but some do. All right, next up, we have got the ships phase. Now, this really comes down to RNG for the most part. You do not need to have a relic wedge for this, okay? Now, if you have a relic wedge, great. You might want a relic wedge because you might be going for Jedi Master Luke, and that's great. But you don't need it exclusively for this event. Have no fear. The biggest tip that you need to internalize here is get the 60 mods on everyone and don't use the watch this ability on the Falcon. You want attacks to hit the Falcon. You want to spread out those attacks. If you use watch this, they're going to focus the fire on the other two ships, and it's going to be a lot more problematic for you. Avoid those four-sided characters. That's going to drive the Terminator, and then save Vader for last because you're really not going to be able to get him out. You're just going to need to escape from that battle. And so just a couple tips on ships, but mod-wise, try to get those 60 mods on those pilots as much as possible. Obviously, wedge it won't be possible because for most of you, you probably won't have a Gear 12 wedge, and that's fine. I think when I did this event, I think I had a Gear 10 wedge, and I was fine. Maybe it was Gear 11, and I was able to get it. It was just a matter of getting the right RNG. So don't panic too much on this phase. You might lose a few times, but the RNG will work out for you. You get the hang of it, and you will beat the event. All right, here we go. Tier 5. Here's your mod sets. Again, this is really not hard. You're taking Hoda in with you. I'm not even recommending mods for Hoda, but this is pretty much the same as CLS before. I really don't see very many of you struggling with this phase. I haven't heard of anyone, at least. It's just, this is one of more of those reward phases. Just enjoy it. This, though, is the phase that everybody comes for. Please note that the mods you put on C-3PO and Chewie matter for 3 Baka. Both of them matter. And so I recommend loading up C-3PO with health, speed, and potency. You're going to want a lot of potency on your Chewbacca, especially because Chewbacca needs to land the blind. The blind is huge on this. Huge, huge, huge in this phase. And so I highly recommend getting good potency up there. You're going to want to load him up for offense as well. That's going to be important. And I recommend getting health on him too, mostly because you really need him to survive. If he's out of there, you're done for. Now, Lando's another one. I recommend modding him for crit chance. Lando's double down ability is very big in this phase of the event. Very, very big. And if you don't land a crit, you're going to have a hard time doing the damage you need. But actually, Lando's one of the unsung heroes of this entire event. He actually does work in this phase. Chewbacca and Lando both being very important. Then, of course, Rolo. Want to have some tenacity on her. I've got some recommended stats there, and I'll move here so you guys can see those recommended milestones for Chewie as well. So just food for thought there. Again, I break down the attack strategy a lot more specifically in my other guide. I recommend checking that out. I'll also drop a link to that down below in the description. But here's just a high-level overview of the modding stats you're going to want to hit for this. All right, and then finally, Tier 7. It's kind of same gig for Jedi Luke or for CLS. And again, it's really just about just enjoying this. There's maybe you'll struggle. It's possible to lose once or twice. You got to hit the right. I believe it's kind of random on what Vader's going to throw at you. If you do struggle once or twice, don't panic. You'll be fine. It's not like Galactic Legends where you're going to lose the tickets or anything like that. You can do it a couple times. And honestly, if you have to do it once or twice, you know, this is, I think, one of the most rewarding, exciting phases of any event. It's Tier 7 and 8. You're using Luke and then Vader. I really don't think there's much you need to do mod-wise for either of those characters, especially because their characters a lot of you pretty much have flushed out. And so, quick, high-level overview of the Luke event. Once again, if you do have struggles, highly recommend checking out the in-depth guide. I actually did it with Black Mamba. A lot of good attack strategy advice in there. But I hope a lot of you are able to get your Jedi Lukes. What a fun character to have. His mass stun, his damage, everything. And then, of course, being able to have so many of those characters bleed up to get your Jedi Master Lukes. what a great milestone for you. So for everyone who gets Jedi Luke, please let me know down below. I want to hear from all of you. I want to celebrate with you guys. And then be sure to come join me on Twitch tomorrow. We are going to, hopefully I'm going to try to find some people to do their unlocks on stream with us so we can all celebrate just what a great character Jedi Luke is. So everyone, let me know how you guys feel about this down in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,